What's up YouTube? This is unboxing for the MSI X299 SLI Plus motherboard. This is just released in June 26, 2017. This motherboard has a good potential, that's why I picked it up. Although it's the cheapest, but the price is not the standard for me. And actually I think, generally speaking, all the X299 motherboards are overpriced, but maybe because they are brand new. This one in the box over here, as you can see, it says support the Intel chipset X299. Of course, it supports the new X series. And in front they are writing a couple of specs about it, which is dual Intel LAN, dual M.2. It has RGB lighting and visual ready, which is kinda new for the X299 in comparison to the X99. On the back over here, it just shows a couple of specs of it, which like dual LAN. It has actually dual Intel LAN, and one of them is I can't remember the exact number. Yeah, I can't remember the exact model. I think it's a 1219V, and the other one is 12 something. Can't remember exactly, but they are different. So yeah, 1219V and 1211. So one of them is higher in specs. It supports the multi GPU, and it has designated chip for the audio and 7.1 channel, which I usually don't use. It supports DDR4 RAM 2666, but bear in mind that this native RAM support depends on the CPU itself. So if you are using Kaby Lake or Skylake, if you are using Skylake 780, the native support of the RAM actually is 2400, but above that it's by default is 2666 if you are not overclocking. And one more note, if you are using below than 7800 models, which is the Kaby Lake, you are actually using a dual configuration for the RAM, and one of the RAM one of the 4 ports is actually one of the 8. 4 out of the 8 will be disabled because it's not supported as a quad configuration, quad channel. So you will end up with the maximum RAM is up to 64 instead of 128. Beside that, if you are using more than the Skylake, I think most people will choose to go for the Skylake, which means more RAM support, more threads. So they will have the potential of using the 8 lanes instead of 4. It has dual M.2, and the one difference of the X99 versus X299 that the M.2 now supports RAID 0 and RAID 1 configuration. So there are, as you can see over here, it says what kind of CPU support, what kind of CPU socket, which is the new 2066, what kind of chipset, X299, the graphics support, it supports SLI, and of course the Crossfire, and how much memory it supports if you are using a dual or quad, how many expansion slots, the storage. So you have 8 SATA and 1 U.2, but if actually you have to go to the manual because there are so many details over there. I will go through with this separate video about the details about it. And jumping to the other one, we have 3.1 Gen 2, 2 of them, Type A and Type C. And here you will see in the motherboard there's a new designated on front for the front panel, 3.1 Gen 2. And like I said, for the audio you have 7.1 channel. So in the box, other way, you have the motherboard itself, and I have dealt with so many X99 motherboards. I think this is the heaviest so far that I have built. It's heavier than the X99 motherboard, generally speaking. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm excited about this motherboard, but I think it's heavier. Like, I have dealt with so many X99 motherboards. I think this is the heaviest so far from them. Of course, it has the I/O shield. It's not bad, but it's not big deal. It's just a shield. It's not gonna make a difference for me. 2 SATA cables. One of them is right angle. SLI. The dual configuration, the new SLI for NVIDIA. Quick guide configuration, quick installation configuration. I think most of you guys know how to do it, but like I said, it show here if you are having what kind of CPU you are using, then one of them will be disabled, which is the one on the left. If you are using KB Lake or Skylake, one of them will be disabled. And keep in mind, if you are using excuse me, if you are using 2 RAM stick or 3 RAM, 4, 5, 6 up to 8, it will show you which the right position to install the RAM corresponding to the number from your RAM stick you are using. So if I were you, I would keep this one, or at least I will, and this is for registration, I will keep the manual, the actual manual. In my case, what I did, I went to the website, and of course that's what I usually do. I go to the website and see the manual, and if it's exciting, I print it out, and that's what I did. Actually, I printed out the manual so I can keep this one, and I deal with paperwork. So if there's something wrong happens to the paperwork, I can just simply reprint it. But like I said, it has so many details, small details, that if you think you are an expert, still you need to read the manual. Because, for instance, this is an example. If you are using M.2 slots, it's not as easy as it used to be. So M.2 slot actually share with the SATA now. So for instance, if you are using the first M.2 slot, it's shared with a SATA 1. So if you are using M.2 slot as a SATA, then SATA 1 will be disabled. But if you are installing in the M.2 slot as a PCI Express based M.2, then SATA 1 will be working. On the other hand, M.2 slot is different. It's shared with the 5 through 8. So if you are using M.2 as a SATA based, it will disable only 5. But if you are using it as a PCI, which is NVMe, you actually need 4 SATA lines. So it will disable all the SATA lines from 5 through 8, which is these one here, and the 2 of them, and there's a 2 of them over here, but you still have 4. So these are examples. So like I said, this manual is good. You have to, if I were, I would keep it. It doesn't hurt. You need the Q codes. Yeah, you can Google it online, but still you need the Q codes and the drivers. So I'm gonna use the drivers from the CD, but generally speaking, I usually go online. But I have noticed something nice about this motherboard. When they simply, within 1 week, they have updated the BIOS 3 times. So on June 20th, they have the version 10 of the BIOS. In June 24th, which after 4 days, they released version 2 of the BIOS, version 11, and then after 2 days they have released version 12. And they are saying the upgrade, they are improving the NVMe compatibility. Alright, so this is a very quick unboxing and go through. I will make a separate video. I want to make for the motherboard itself, showing you all the details about it in a separate video. Peace.